we're slowing down. Something happened. Could this be? Oh, wow. All right, we got some action. What is it? I see a cat loader. Oh, wow. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got debris. We got debris. That's about as exciting as it gets, really. Now here it is, like, I don't know, 2 days later, because here in New Jersey it just seems to rain, and you know, it's the end of May, so I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they told me it was going to snow. But get this thing uncovered and we'll start doing what we said we were going to do and tune this bad Larry up. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here is your standard AMC 2.5 liter squirrel power. She's quite slow. I've had the 6-cylinder 4-liter, and this thing, I mean, it's down on power, no doubt about it. So one of the best upgrades for your 2.5 liter is the 4-liter throttle body. This 4-liter throttle body is perfect for this Jeep. I don't know that it actually increases performance, but it gives you better throttle response. The throttle response on the 2.5 liter with the factory throttle body is literally putting your foot to the floor all the time. With the 4-liter, again, not that it produces any more power, maybe 1 or 2 horse, but the perception is you don't have to put your foot in it all the time, because you really are putting your foot in it all the time due to the larger bore of the, you know what I mean. Where to start? Well, let's start with that cap. Looks like it's going to be fun to try to fish out of there. So what we'll do is we'll get a Phillips head, long Phillips head for both sides. We'll see if we can crack them loose. Something to note, there is both hex heads and Phillips heads on your cap. I have many a times broken a bolt because I used the hex head first. Use Phillips head, try to break them loose the Phillips head. Worst you're gonna do is strip the center of the Phillips head out. If you have to start getting a ratchet set out to put the, I believe they're 5/16, they might be 1/4 inch. If you gotta get a ratchet set out, that's when I would start maybe worrying that you're gonna break something. And you don't want to break that because you'll need to drill that out. Now look, there are only 4 cylinders here and they're in a row. So if we go start pulling wires off, I'd say do one at a time, so that in case you do not remember where your wire went, you know, you can always put it back together. Firing orders are kind of simple on this motor, but you never know. So looking at this, they came up pretty easily. Rotor's not bad. It's actually in pretty good shape. Probably not due for a change, but again, I don't know the history on this. I bought it year and a half ago. And it's got, I put like 10,000 miles on it since I've had it, so it has no clear history with me. There was a lot of things that I had to undo, so I'm not sure the condition of this motor. It runs well, but you know, maintenance schedule wise, I don't know. So it's better off to change it that way. I can mark it on a calendar, say this is the mileage and this is when I change it, and that's one of my recommendations. Whether you add it to your phone, now there are several apps for the phone. I'll throw one in the description below that I use for just marking the mileage and dates of when you did something, and it will help you tremendously when you either need to check maintenance on something, or you're upgrading, or you're selling. Even selling, somebody's going to say, hey, you know, here's my maintenance records for this vehicle. I buy a car that has maintenance records more than I would buy a car that just was like this. However, the price in this was, hey, you know, $500. Really can't go wrong with a Jeep YJ for $500. So anyway, let's continue. You know, whether it's a 4-liter or it's the 2.5 liter, it always seems like they put that #1 spark plug in just the wrong spot. I guess due to the way the bracketry is. So I try to put the socket on first and then try to spin it with just getting the head of the extension in there. Unless you use a wobble extension will give you the move. So a long wobble extension to go with your socket probably would be best. I also use the AutoZone Duralast magnetic socket to pull the spark plug out. It's so much easier because I don't like fishing. And there is number one. Well, I'm choking. Focus. Let me focus on that. Well, I don't know if it's in focus or not. It doesn't look like it, but there's number one. Number one looks a little rough. So first off, I can already tell you, APP 985. So what does that mean? That means Autolite double platinum 985s, platinum tips, non-gappable. Literally, you take them out of the box, you put them in. Now look at that strap. That strap is not directly over that point, and I'm sure that even though these plugs look okay, like you can still kind of see the iridium, these are gimmicks. Now on certain fuel injected motors, maybe platinum a little bit. I don't know. There are some cars that I believe come with platinum from the factory, but on a 2.5 from 1995, this is not a thing. Copper, original 985s actually go to RC12 LYC. Copper, gapped at 35. You're not gonna have problems. This is a gimmick. Don't go for it. Stay away from it. Trust me. I sold auto parts for 15 years. I knew when these came out and the single platinums was good and then the double platinums were better. It was all a gimmick. Just like Bosch Platinum 4s. You ever see those with 4 electrode straps in them? It's always going to go to 1 electrode strap. It doesn't matter. Having 4 does not make it a better plug. Anyway, let's get these installed. That's our first one. Oh, let's read it real quick. It actually looks like a good burn. It's kind of clean still. Again, these plugs maybe didn't need to be changed. However, on a fuel atomization that comes out of this thing, a single hole fuel injector, you're not gonna burn. You're gonna have droplets. This is not efficient. Big old fat crazy plain Jane 35 gap spark is all you need. You have 4-hole injector, maybe, you know, something with a higher atomization, something way more efficient, maybe, but not on this. Do you know that on Hemis they come with NGKs from the factory, and if you go and change to any other plug, that it won't run well? So just a bit of advice for you. If you got a Hemi and you got the 2 plugs per cylinder, don't go change into double platinum spark plugs. You'll have nothing but issues. Factory NGKs are the only way to go with them. But anyway, back to this. All right, here we go. Jeep tune-up. Spark plugs. I go with the Champion Coppers. These were OE on the 2.5 AMC, and it is widely known that these are the best. Don't buy the Denzos or any of those other crazy ass ones. There's no reason for it. You're gonna waste your time. And then we're gonna set these at an 0.35 gap because that is the factory spec for this copper. 0.35. Your 2.5 will never run better. I really hope that all of you know this, but I figure, hell, if I'm going to show this on the channel, I might as well show this. The way to gap a spark plug is very simple. You take your gapper tool. You can get this one, or yeah, AutoZone sells this one. And if you look at this, you'll see that the focus, you'll see the numbers on here equate to obviously thousandths of an inch, and we're at 0.35. So 35 thousandths of an inch. I like this guy right here. Let's see where we at. Here we are. 35 being that guy right there. And I should be able to just take this and fit it underneath. Oh, no problem. It's tight, but it's not. It's perfect. If I try to do the 40 won't fit. So these are already mostly going to be pre-gapped to 0.35, but obviously we're going to check them all because that is the right thing to do. Next thing, let's put them in. Quick side note, if you do have plugs that are way too wide, there are 2 things you can do. Well, way too wide or way too close. Trying try to do this one-handed. So this actually is designed to go here, and as a fulcrum point on where it bends, open up the plug. So you can bend a little bit and get your gap. If you have to close them, you can do the same thing. However, I'm a little less gentle, if you get the idea. Not hard taps. These are $2.69. If you break one, oh well. But you'll learn how to gap pretty darn quickly. And here we go. This is another reason why I don't like iridiums. This plug is gapped probably at a 25,000th, if that. So this cylinder wasn't getting a lot of poof. And not to mention the strap is filthy with crusty oil deposits. So this cylinder is probably a little on the south side. Although this is a 165,000 mile motor. So we're just gonna keep plugging along. She's been running pretty good. So, well, you know, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. Another thing to note while I throw these piece of shit plugs in the garbage, I do one wire at a time. Just again, mimic the wire that I just took out, put it on the cap. It's very easy that way. That way you're just doing 1, 1, 1, and you change the rotor over. Came out easy. I think I already said that, but why not repeat myself? Hey. Oh, and before any of you say, well, you're not putting anti-seize on your new plugs, because I'm putting them in dry. Going in dry. I'm not a huge fan of anti-seize on plugs. And, you know, it sounds crazy, but I'm not. I do crazy-ass maintenance schedule. I will probably change these plugs once a year. Whether I put 1,000 miles on or 10,000 miles on, it's what I do. It's a hobby. I have fun doing it. I actually enjoy it. So I probably will take these out soon. And that said, I really don't feel any seize is really required on them. That's me. Flame on, do what you want, but that's how I feel. Gosh, I am so full of these pro tips today. Another one for you. These have a crush sleeve on them. So when you're putting them in, torque them down until they get tight and you're done. You'll feel it. They start to get tight and then they dead stop. And when they dead stop is when you dead stop. Also, when you're putting these in any motor, anytime, any tune-up, always do the first couple threads by hand if you can. Never try to do them while on the extension. I know this is probably common sense for a lot of you, and you're like, dude, I already know. But you don't, because I just told you. So now you have to use me as the guy who told you. So if you already knew, you're gonna say, where'd you hear that from? You heard that here. And that's it. All installed. If I can do it, you can do it. It's so damn easy. Most of these YouTubers out there that I look up to, they start their or end their videos saying, if you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. Something like that. And I feel the same way. I am terrible at this. I break more than I fix. There's no doubt about that. But I learn. Every time I do, I learn. So let's see. Did we break it? Did we fix it? E-brake on. High park mining gear. I know. Here, ready? Flame on. Hit me in the comments. All right, I'm gonna extend you guys out while I do this. She purrs like a kitten. A really loud, angry kitten. But that's okay. I think we're gonna do an oil change next. Yeah, she's always clacky in the morning, but it quiets up a little bit. However, you wanna act like a baby, I'll treat you like a baby. So, you know what? Jeep 2.5 liter. You wanna act like a diesel? I'm gonna treat you like a diesel. Seriously though, before you guys all freak out, 1540 is perfectly fine for this. It's a thick oil. I'm in a northeast climate right now. We're getting into summer. It's not going to be too cold, and it'll be nice thick for that bottom end clack. So again, before anybody comes on and says that's too heavy. It doesn't matter. On this kind of motor with this kind of mileage and my climate over the next couple of months, you can't get better than that. That's how it goes. If you guys need to see an oil change video, I don't know, go find someone else, because this is literally going to be spin that filter off, do that drain plug. I'll come back in about 2 seconds when it's all done, and we'll see it running, and then follow along for the next video, because I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to change this 58C battery over to the mother of all batteries that you can buy, the 65 series. It comes in every Ford, biggest cold cranking amps in its series, in its class. Ford put them in everything. They said, it gets a 65, it gets a 65. So there is rumor that this tray will accommodate a 65 series battery. So, and it's probably going to be just a simple drop-in, but I searched YouTube and I couldn't find anybody who put a 65 series in theirs. And everybody does double batteries and whatnot. Look, this thing doesn't need a double battery. I just need a little bit more downtime when I have the key off and I want to have the radio on, or I'm sitting at lunch. I just want to feel a little bit better that I have a little more reserve capacity, and a 65 series is going to have, you know, infinitely more reserve capacity than the 58 series, just due to the size. So like and subscribe, share, and then follow along, because we're going to do this 65 series next. Thanks, everyone. And just like that, we're ready to go out for a drive. Yeah, she's still clacky, but much better. And if any of you work around the shop and get your hands dirty, it's not always worth it to run inside and mess up your wife's sink trying to get your hands clean. Now, I get these Grime Boss. I picked them up at a flea market. I bought 2 cases of them. They are excellent. And literally, I can do this. I obviously not two-handed because I have a camera in the other, but they work great. They work amazingly great. In fact, ready? We're gonna cut in 3, 2, 1. Hands clean. Bam! Clean. Now, I wouldn't go eating a ham sandwich. Well, you know what? That's the mechanic way. You eat a sandwich with dirty hands. But now I don't have to worry about going inside. I can go out for a drive. I'm not gonna mess up my dashboard. Anyways, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me. We'll do something else fun in the next couple of days. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Remember, the people that gave all for us to enjoy this weather, this freedom. Remember, it's all about this right here. It's all about America. Live free, home of the brave. I never served, unfortunately. I should have, because I am very, very patriotic now. But again, remember that this weekend is all about that and the people who earned that for us. So remember them, and we'll see you next time.